Hello guys, welcome to my channel and our today's topic are entity and its types. So let's get started. First, cause of the day. A database is not just the data, it's well organized information. As we know that futures gold is data, so we will going to have a very bulk of data, future as well as uh, the present scenario as well, a very be well organized and be well uh, cleaned up and protected as well. What is PR model? Firstly, we go through the base. Uh, if a client wants to make a and build a database for it to communicate to database designers, and database designers will have a task to communicate with client and their requirements. Designers design a model. They're having a choice in designing database like set of rules designers going to decide which model they can have in designing the database. That is value model, object oriented model, ER model, बनाएंगे ER model based diagram, and at the second uh, एक type दे दिया. This is the design for database developers को. Then they have the work of implementation of ER, which is designing via coding using DBMS. वो जो प्रोटोटाइप है उस पर्टिकुलर डेटाबेस में कन्वर्ट करेंगे वाया डेटाबेस systems. So AI model works around real world entities and relationship among them. As like employee and department is a entity. Further we will entity next slides. अभी के लिए बस employee और department एक separate entities है. Separate के बाद they are linked to each other by a relation which is works. Like employee works in a particular department. Again, if a client communicate over DB designers और जो भी requirements है prototype based on certain model was ER model के हिसाब से उन्होंने क्या डायग्राम बनाया और वो डायग्राम को दे दिया DB डेवलपर्स. तो डेवलपर्स का एक वर्क होगा वो SQL क्वेरी या फिर और उस DBMS के सॉफ्टवेयर के फॉर्म database particularly implement कर दें. Construct database via diagram better mapped into functional model. जो डायग्राम बनेगा सपोज मैंने पहला भी लिखा जैसे इन डिपार्टमेंट का अलग से टेबल डिपार्टमेंट एम्प्लॉय का अलग से टेबल बना तरफ में construct of ER model was part of will go through what is entity a separate object like for table I want to craft a sorry what entity is an entity or an object in the real world that is distinguishable from other objects. like student or table, or sorry, student or teacher. They are distinguishable, so they we will make it as a separate entities. So further, entities can have attributes that give them their identity. Suppose student जो है ये further attributes हो सकते हैं such as their roll number, name, mobile number, age. एक पर्टिकुलर कॉलम बनता है जब अपन रिलेशनल मॉडल में चेंज करते हैं टू यार मॉडल और entities become table in relational model. And entity set क्या होता है? Collection of similar types of entity such as students और an employee जो भी अपन लिया डिपार्टमेंट तो फर्दर बाकी डिपार्टमेंट्स के भी एम्प्लॉय एंटिटी सेट के अंदर आ सकते हैं पर्टिकुलर कलेक्शन कैन हैव ऑल एम्प्लॉयज attribute and its entity have attributes that given an identity. So, attributes describes properties of an entity. Yes, students can have multiple attributes, mobile number, age, address, and date of birth. Or further, what is domain of a particular attribute like a roll number can be alphanumeric uh, and a name should be a varchar. Like name के अंदर numeric things नहीं आ सकती. Name जो attribute varchar type का होगा variable character से बोलते हैं and entity type basically क्या होता है particular बहुत सारे attribute से हम brackets के फॉर्म में लिखते हैं separate और entity 1 2 अपन लिख सकते हैं particular instance of that 101 is a roll number Rahul Sharma and the mobile number so on or attributes have further types simple and composite attributes have an atomic value. First, we'll go through composite attributes. What is composite attributes are which can be dividable, like a name. और इसे हम यार diagram show करते हैं. Like firstly, we will have a student and a student. Further, subdivide into first name, last name. The name attribute will be termed as composite attribute because it is not divided. But in name hand of birth is not termed it as simple. Further, single value value type like an act and a role single value attribute. In a particular student specific but on the student the multi-valued and is multi-valued as for defining it, describing it, PR diagram was what we are doing design or have a product. They should know कि are going uh, as developers have knowledge about how deep so much time आया रही है double ellipse how है मतलब ये that the email entity or email attribute can have be multi-valued. So SQL queries looking at the finalized it in the derived attribute. So derived attributes or uh, which can be derived from a stored attribute. and set of an attribute, but we will not going to it or can such each thing for its column and but communicate over developer have one set sorry will have an attribute derived from date of birth as dotted 11. These are the types of attributes. Now relationship and association and like they are different and code again can be and with real world exist how they are related to the form of enroll the student enroll particular course. We will further go through the discussion about what it why are we it like that the further slide चलिए बस and the second one is that अब ये क्या होता है जैसे क्या हो गया and enrolled in and course and it set हो गया अब ये particular student one is uh, having a relationship with course 2 as E1 enrolled in E2 student 2 of it with related to course 3 a particular relationship collection of all the relationship what is relationship 2 can have attribute or descriptive attribute we know they have attribute and the properties but यहाँ पर can 2 have attribute हम समझें for examples like this account number so customer 1 having uh, having customer 1 having a relationship of 17/10/1996 which is related to account number 8201 अब ये attribute कस्टमर डिपॉजिटर उसकी एक्सेस डेट भी बता कर दी ये रिलेशन कस्टमर वन ने पर्टिकुलर डेट को इस अकाउंट को एक्सेस और डिस्क्राइबिंग और मोर डिस्क्रिप्टिव हो गया है ये कस्टमर और अकाउंट नंबर के there are more important topics is degree of cardinality this degree of relation a number of different entities will go to examples here about it like a relationship have its degree 1 because that a person as entity and with a relation of itself like a person can one पर हमने टाइप से उसको कर दिया है now having a degree of 2 and popular and common will further use it in many numerals as well like student and can a particular example पहले भी and this is an example of binary because there are two entities with a one relation. Now we will have a ternary having a degree of 3, like there are three entities called a particle as course, subject, and teacher. Like a teacher teach artistic subject आ रहा है machine learning. AI is a vast topic. Further subjects आ सकते हैं. ML is further the part of AI. Like similarly, a teacher in the course of suppose data science teaching a subject of SQL. An example of same as there is an relationship like an entities participate in a particular relation. Now we will cover again an important topic of mapping cardinality. So it also known as cardinality ratio of entity set participating set. ज़्यादा क्लियर नहीं हो जब हम एग्जाम it is more in binary relationship. We know एक particular entity हम कभी describe नहीं करते set of entities करते हैं entity set बोलते हैं और there is an relationship between entity and second entity. I think the previous uh, topics get cleared to you. There are types of mapping cardinality one to one. A person will go through the definition. One entity from entity set A, like it is an entity set A, can be associated with at most one entity of entity set B. The particular formula. What is one to one mapping cardinality is E1 can at most link to only one of the E1 of entity set B. ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा even दो entity set से involved हो. For example, person has password. अब ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है कि एक ही person के पास दो same kind of passwords हो E1 पे और पासवर्ड या फिर अपन आधार कार्ड भी बोल सकते हैं आधार कार्ड दो अलग अलग आधार एक पर्सन नहीं हो सकते टर्म्ड इन एज वन टू कार्डिनलिटी और इसे हम टाइप से भी शो कर सकते हैं लाइक एन एरो विच मीन्स वन और वन टू वन दोनों साइड है इसलिए एरो लगा के रखा है द सेकेंड टाइप इज वन टू मैनी one entity from entity set A can be associated with more than one entity of entity set B. However, an entity from entity set B can be associated with at most one entity. Like अभी just मैंने जो बोला ये चीज़ नहीं होती E1 E3 से भी लिंक्ड हो वन टू वन में पर एग्जैक्टली यहाँ पर ये चीज़ हो सकती है सेट ए पर अपने पास सेट बी ये जो वन है दो के साथ लिंक्ड हो सकता है पार्टिसिपेट कर सकता है For example, a customer can have multiple orders, but एक same kind of order like E3 दो कस्टमर ऐसा कभी नहीं होता. We will show here like a number one many और तो मैंने पहले बताया था one we can have a diagram like an arrow and many for orders. So आप इससे याद रख सकते हो कि ये ऐसा पॉसिबल है कि एक एंटिटी मल्टीपल एंटिटीज का स्टेट हो सकता है, पर एंटिटी सेट बी के साइड से मल्टीपल। अब ये कहाँ पर होगा वो अपन पढ़ते देखेंगे मैनी टू वन के अंदर। यहाँ पर क्या लिखा है, और then one entity from entity set A can be associated with at most one entity of entity set B. Exactly, जो कि more than one entity, एक entity से ज़्यादा एक particular associated with at most one entity of A, ये चीज़ हो सकती है कि दो entity एक चीज़ के साथ में involve हो. For example, a student. Many students can be studying in the same college, but ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कभी एक स्टूडेंट दो कॉलेजेस में पढ़ रहा हो. Therefore many to one, और वन के लिए हमने कर दिया है एरो, many के लिए लाइन. Now many to many, m to n, one entity from A can be associated with more than one entity from B and vice versa. Like for example, employee can have assigned to many projects as well as many projects can be assigned to many employees. यहाँ पर ये possible, and this all are the constructs of entity set. I hope आपको समझ आया हो. There are three constructs: entity, attribute and relation. And और further हमने टाइप करा है ER मॉडल को कि हाउ द थिंग्स गेट वर्क. फर्स्टली डिजाइनर्स के पास क्लाइंट इंटरेक्ट करके बताता है कि उसको किस टाइप से डेटाबेस चाहिए, और डिजाइनर्स पर्टिकुलर डिजाइन करते ऑन अ मॉडल. और मोस्ट पॉपुलर मॉडल इज ER मॉडल. सबसे वो डायग्राम बनाता है ER डायग्राम और गिव इट टू द डेवलपर्स. दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे एंड हैव अ नाइस डे.